Learner's permit.
Learner's permit. Learner's permit.
Learner's permit. Learner's permit. Hello, and welcome to the Learner's Permit podcast, a show where four friends lock themselves in a room and forcefully educate each other on the topics they're most passionate about. Each week, one host selects a subject to educate the other three about and hopes to broaden their woefully narrow horizons. My name's Austin. I'll be your host this week. To my right is...
Hello, it's me. It's Kody.
And to my left is...
It's Liam. I'm here. And I would like to apologize for our co-host, Adam.
He's absent again. He's still in the penitentiary.
Let's not say penitentiary, Cody.
What,
He's in the facility. He's being rehabilitated.
Oh, we can't.
He did some things that maybe...
Asylum?
No, let's not get specific. Okay.
Is he Guantanamo?
It's fine. All right, let's not... Look, we talked to the studio manager about this. All right, we're not supposed to bring it up. It's going to cause issues.
Is it? So why? Why are we going to get kicked out of the studio?
We could.
Because
you were also pretty rude to Kody with a C earlier today.
On the down low, I think her and I have a shot.
You think so?
I think so.
I think maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm with probably push that advantage.
Yeah, you should push yourself out there. You're a good guy. You're fun.
I'm all right. I think it's because
don't sell yourself short. Kody, you got a lot going for you.
Is it my backwards hat and sunglasses?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't smoke. Well, I think that's my downside.
If you did those things in combination, you'd be a real douche.
No, but
it's backwards hat or cigarette. You don't get both.
Fuck. Gotta keep the sunglasses. I spent a lot of money on those.
I really think you should get new sunglasses. I genuinely don't like those. I think they look shitty.
Is it the red?
Sorry. It's the red, yeah.
I had green.
It's the color. I also don't like the rounded shape of the sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
I like more of a square look. I mean, aviators obviously are one thing, but I'm
not a big fan of aviators. I had a green pair of those that I really liked.
You're like Tom Cruise?
He has a green pair of aviators?
No, he's an aviator.
He popularized the aviators, didn't he? In Top Gun? Wasn't that the big thing?
I don't
really
think he popularized them. I think he's just a big proponent of it.
Here's the thing that pisses me off about them, and this is relevant.
Is it that he was wearing it in really short shorts playing volleyball?
No, that's fine. I don't mind.
The shorts should have been shorter.
They should have been shorter. I want to see scrote.
I want to see his underwear coming out the bottom of the shorts.
Well, obviously they weren't wearing underwear. They cut their urethra on the zipper.
So they decided to get rid of the zippers altogether. That's why all military uniforms have buttons now. No, my
is that
problem,
true? Do they have buttons?
Zippers? So that you're not supposed to have zippers on military uniforms. There's some exceptions, but
so could your penis come out of your pants?
You have buttons.
Yeah, but what if it goes in between the buttons? How
many
buttons?
You have to be pretty poorly endowed if your penis came out of your pants.
Never say never.
but yeah, so the idea
you don't know who you're talking to.
The idea being is that you're not really adding too much shrapnel because then you get all those tiny the teeth.
Oh yeah. If God forbid you got shrapnel into your
or just anywhere, dude. They actually in Vietnam there's a lot of guys that had them modified to be zippers because they got tired of it, and they called them all the women on post that did sewing or ran bars or whatever, they called them mama-san because they basically took care of them.
Yeah.
So anytime that you had a uniform that had a zipper modified into it, it's called mama-san modified.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail your rant before you started.
Oh, fucking aviators, man. So this is what pisses me off. They were made for the fucking army. For army aviators. That's why they exist.
Yeah.
Did you know it's against Army regulation to wear aviators?
No, I didn't know that. Why is that?
It just goes against Air 670-1. It's written into the uniform fucking code that you can't wear aviator sunglasses.
That's stupid as shit.
Yeah. So why were they made for the Army? What's the story behind their design?
I think that pilots just wanted sunglasses that were convenient and covered a lot of space instead of back in, they would have been just my glasses where it's just regular.
What's the Army's objection to the aviators specifically?
They say that they are...
It makes you look too hot. to the locals.
Well, flashy. They say they're too flashy and stylish. So that's their two. That's
Can't be too stylish in the Army.
well, no, but seriously, that's written into the regs. Like you can't. There's certain authorized haircuts, but there are ones that specifically it says that the commander can ban out of his like extension of AR 670-1. A commander can never take away from AR 670-1, but he can always add to it.
Can guys in the Army have those Gen Z broccoli haircuts that I see all the time now?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And on top of that,
Can you imagine getting shot to death by a guy with that haircut?
yo, that was fire.
No cap on God.
No cap on God, he did. He got killed in the streets.
Yo, he got
Man, you should see me. I was busting out of there, you know?
that guy got unalived.
Can we say that? Is it? Can we get? Was it? Can we get monetized if we say that? I know you just canoed that guy's head, but fucking, it's the first 10 minutes of the episode. We can't swear. But yeah, anything that's deemed too stylish.
You heard that, right?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. Was the house being haunted?
Was it me putting my drink down? It was a little bit violent.
No, it was like
Do you want to go check? Check the door.
the house is haunted. If
Check
I
the door.
die
Check
and
the
I
door for a
open this
ghost.
door, Austin, avenge me.
Yeah.
Check the door for a ghost.
I'll kill the ghost.
Kill the ghost. Ectoplasm. That was weird. You heard that, right?
Yeah, it was like a weird sigh.
Moan. Yeah. It was weird.
I didn't hear it.
It sounds like
You're
it
too
came
busy
from
being angry about aviators.
I think it came from behind you.
behind
Like,
from back.
Behind from back.
From back, yeah. So maybe whoever the ghost is that lives in your house was
It's
like,
Jeremiah.
yeah, that is bullshit.
I fucking hate that.
It's Jeremiah Gutwald. Jeremiah Gutwald.
Well, and the thing about fucking, I'll do this real quick and then we'll get on track. The thing
Don't
about
worry about it.
the thing about Army regs is like everybody in World War II seemingly had the authority to be like, nah, fuck it, it's cool, let's do it. Like, it's a niche thing and you wouldn't really know it. But if you look at guys in their dress uniforms at the time, a lot of paratroopers would wear their regimental number on their cross rifles, which was totally unsanctioned. Like they came out and they said, do not do that. It's against Army regs, and all the paratroopers were like, fuck you guys, we're going to do this anyway. And eventually, give the Army 40 years, and then they'll be like, that's actually kind of cool. Let's do that. Like, they will always come around to it.
Do they do it now?
Yeah, so now it's authorized. But you know what you can't do? You can't put your battalion number on there.
Why? What's the difference?
Because it takes fucking 40 years for the Army to finally realize, like, oh, you know, it's actually not that bad of an idea. Let's do that. So it's just like small, stupid stuff like that. So now it's authorized to put your regimental number on your branch insignia.
I don't
That's
get it.
so fucking stupid.
If you allow one number, why not the other one?
I don't know. Maybe too specific. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's how it shows up on a guidon. Like when you have a unit and you have your guidon, which is basically just your flag that shows what you are, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Infantry's blue, you have the cross rifles, and then to the left of the cross rifles would be your battalion. So mine would be like 1 for the 1st battalion, and then on top would be your regiment, which would be 509. So I could have my branch insignia on my dress uniform, which is the cross rifles, and put the 509 on the top, but it would be completely out of regs for me to put the 1 next to the cross rifles.
You sure you want to give all your Army info out like that?
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, we can bleep it.
Yeah, well, and not only that, but like the 1st to 509th is like, people know about it. It's not really that big a deal. What are they going to do? Search through all the records from people that were there from the last,
Yeah.
like, and like, I don't even know how many Austins are there, but I don't
Too
know.
many.
Maybe they'll find out.
A lot.
We have to eradicate them. You're the only one.
Probably more Austins there than there are Kodys in the studio.
Well, there are 3 of them.
Give it time, Kody. I imagine there will be a 4th coming
I think
soon.
there's going to be. I think they're multiple. I think we're multiplying.
So now you have kinship with these two, even though
no,
before
I
you were
hate
shunning them.
I hate them, and they're olive skin.
Well, at least Kody.
Oh my God.
It's only Kody with a C that has that, and they finally got him to put on a shirt.
yeah,
It was only after he burned himself on the coffee maker. But,
Yeah,
you know.
he had really fucked up nipples. I couldn't like. I kept staring. I felt weird.
It's fine.
I was oddly attracted to him.
Have you met another Kody that you like?
No,
See, here's the thing. I've met a couple Liams. And I'm always fine with them.
I've
Never met a bad Liam so far. Oh, that's not true. I had one that was kind of crappy. But like, for the most part, they're fine. But I don't like overly like any of them, you know?
Yeah.
Haven't become friends with another Liam. I don't particularly like the name, you know?
King Liam.
Why do you, that's a bad sound to me. Because I feel like the and it's not, I'm not dirting on myself. I'm just saying the abbreviation of the
KL.
name, because my name is just half of another name, basically.
What
William.
is the other half?
William.
Oh.
But my name's not William. My name's just Liam.
Why did I never notice that?
But William is the full name. So when you have something like King Liam, I'm always like, fucking King Bill would sound better than that.
King Bill.
You know, I mean, like Prince William, right?
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't call him Prince Liam.
What if I just called him Prince,
That would sound awful.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. Why would you do that?
Huh? Why not? If you're fucking getting rid of half of the name, just
Well,
get
but
rid of
no,
the other
I'm
half
not
of that.
getting rid
and
of
make
it. My point is, I'm not getting rid of half of
I
it.
am, motherfucker. It's me.
Well, since we're talking about all this royalty, this might be a good segue. So the gun that I want to talk about today is the STEN gun.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we were doing this. I forgot that we had topics that we were going to get to.
Yeah, it was a good segue, so I chose to jump on it. I didn't want to rip you guys out of that.
No, that was a solid segue. Cody's stepping all over it right now. You may want to move along with it.
But is anyone familiar with this gun? Or not?
I am.
No, it sounds like a medical device.
Specifically, I remember it.
It medically terminates people.
I remember
clinical
this,
term for it.
I remember this game because of Call of Duty: The Finest
game?
Hour.
The gun, yeah.
Because of the game Call of Duty: The Finest Hour.
Was it their finest hour?
Some of them, others not so much. But in 5th grade, when I was playing this game, I was like, "Oh, Austin Sten." So I used to call Austin Sten for a while.
Yeah, and one of our other friends actually did the same thing. And then I found out recently, and by recently I think I kind of knew about it, but I didn't look into it too much. When I was looking into this again a little bit for this topic, I did find the Austen again, although they spell it, Sten is S-T-E-N. The Australians received the Sten gun from the British, and they were all excited because they were like, oh man, you've been designing this for like the last year. What do we get? And it's like, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, but the Sten gun is a stamped steel tube gun, basically. And they were like, this is a piece of shit, which wasn't entirely fair because it works really well and it is super cheap to make. And in typical Australian fashion, like, we could make it better. So then they
that's because the Australians are ingenious and they're very effective people, right, guys?
They did make an amazing stamped steel.
Why did you say it like that?
Well, I'm just wondering.
I'm a big fan of the boomerang. Are you a big fan of the boomerang? And you're the fucking Tim Tams?
Tim Tams are fucking
They're so
amazing.
good. They're so good.
I'll go on record with that. That's amazing.
Tim Tams, amazing. Also, Austin had acquired them through means and then brought them. He was like, I have a treat for you. And I went, are they Tim Tams? And he went, how the fuck did you know about Tim Tams? I'm like, motherfucker, I know. I did my research about Australia.
Look, I mean, we got real kinship with these people. And honestly, you all know my stance on the British. I've said it many times in this podcast.
And the Australians are just shunned British.
They're not just shunned British.
They're the prisoners.
They've been cast off.
Yeah.
From the motherland, the unholy place. And by that one action, they have been cleansed for all of eternity, in my eyes. Honestly. You are the chosen people, Australia. I just want you to know that.
Well, and on top of that, they were treated really poorly in like the African theater in World War II by the British officers that were commanding them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
They didn't see eye to eye, and they always treated them as like lesser because they were from a colony and they didn't really get along all that well. At least from the stuff that I've read, there's probably exceptions to that, like there is anything else. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I really like them. But they did kind of screw this up where they didn't really have to change anything in this gun, and then they fucked up a whole bunch of shit. And then they were like, okay, I guess we'll just design a different gun. And then they did make a really cool one that an Australian dude made in his garage illegally.
Yeah.
And then the government got a hold of it, and they're like, in any other circumstance, we'd probably prosecute you heavily, but this thing slaps. Do you want to make us some more of these fucking things? And he's like, the guy, I think he made it and then went off into the army and forgot about it in like a duffel bag in his garage. And somebody just came across it. I don't remember how the government came into it, but then they were like, hey, do you want to make some more of these? He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that piece of shit. I'll make you some more of those.
That's awesome.
But it's called the Owen gun because the guy's name was Owen something, I think. But
classic Australian name.
But anyway.
Owen Lars?
No.
Oh.
I could find out.
Who's Owen Lars?
I know the name. I don't know the face.
Oh, you know. You know who he is. He's Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's why I know that.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys are being nerdy again. I didn't pick up on it.
Was that good for you?
Yeah, I didn't pick up on what your reference. I didn't catch your ref, brother.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just,
Are you thinking about Australians again? Are you thinking about Perth?
What about Perth?
Are you thinking about Perth?
I'm currently thinking about the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah?
I think it's very curvaceous.
Curvaceous. I'm thinking about the Great Barrier Reef.
What about it?
How it's dying, yeah.
We should get some eyes on that. Figure out the situation, put some American ingenuity in there. An oil rig might help.
Sorry, I'm reading this article. First of all, the guy that designed it, his name was Evelyn Owen.
Great name.
Evelyn. The first name's Evelyn?
Yep. And then...
do you think it's...
How would you feel if you were born with the name Evelyn as your first name?
I don't know, dude. Every cowboy has a girl's first name.
What are you talking about? Every cowboy has a girl's first name. Name me one.
I had an idea in my head and now I can't.
Oh, fuck. Come on, man.
No, hold on a
All
second.
right, Billy the Kid.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
William the Kid.
Jesse James.
Jesse is a girl's name.
Jesse's not a girl's name.
It's.
It can be. Jesse's girl.
Okay, you could say that it's...
Wait, Jesse's...
Oh, damn it. There's a girl in there, though. What if she's gay?
That's true, but I think in the song they do specify that Jesse is a guy. I'm not 100% though. Email us and correct me if we're wrong. We're looking to engage with you guys. We want to touch base. So I just want to say, email us at the email.
It's going to be in the description. And if it's not in the description, I want you to go onto our Instagram page.
Yeah.
I want you to find Adam's Instagram.
Yep.
Because it's one of the two
things that are following the Instagram page.
If you message me specifically, Kody, I will block you.
But if you message Adam, Adam is
specifically.
really receptive to that type of stuff. So you should reach out to him and just let him know, one, what you think of the show in general.
Yeah.
He really wants feedback, and I think we would love it if you could send it to the right channel, and he's the right channel.
He's the right channel.
And then two, just let him know
He's
about...
not overwhelmed
if you're Australian, let him know if you identify with the boomerang as a national symbol. And then also what were we just saying?
Tim Tams.
No, it wasn't Tim Tams.
Oh, he's not overwhelmed at all. So just flood his inbox. Just absolutely bombard him.
Actually, why don't we just give Adam's personal email? Okay, we'll put Adam's personal email right here.
Yeah, it's...
Oh my goodness. I thought you were waiting for the car to pass and you just went full on.
No, I was just waiting for silence, and Kody just drops the full name in there. It's analdemons@gmail.com.
Yeah, so it turns out I completely lied. I don't know why I was thinking that. Probably the Johnny Cash song was what was making me think that.
No, it was, what was it, Evelyn?
Sue.
Evelyn was the name.
A guy named Sue.
Boy named
Sue.
Yeah.
The
what's
outlaw
a
Josie
girly
Wales.
cowboy name?
Josie.
The outlaw Josie Wales?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can give you that one, but that's one.
And it's fictional.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. There's got to be more.
I think you're just thinking of the Johnny Cash song, A Boy Named Sue.
Probably.
That's a Shel Silverstein poem?
Yes, I did
know that.
Yeah, and there's a sequel to it.
Is there really?
The sequel
Does
poem,
he name his son?
No, he fucks his son.
Oh my, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
hold on, I'm wrong.
No.
Yep.
No. What do you, okay.
It's a sequel poem called Father of a Boy Named Sue. You about to pull your phone out? Or are you going to Google it?
No.
Feel free to Michelle Google, my friend.
No, I'm good.
Do you
I want to
believe me?
keep Shel Silverstein in my good space in my mind.
Oh, really? And I got some bad news for you, my friend, because he's one of the most anti-Semitic motherfuckers that's lived on this planet.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh man. My God. Great writer. I mean, great poet. Fun writing.
Why are all poets kind of pieces of shit?
You answered your own question, buddy. They're poets.
Fuck!
What?
I had a haiku for you guys for my episode.
Well, why don't you just read it here?
read it out.
No, it's fine. I'll cut. I'll read it. I'll read it off
here, and we'll cut it. Into
I don't have
the
it.
other
I
one.
wrote it down in my notebook. My notebook's downstairs.
Why don't you go grab it?
No, it's fine.
Put a pause on the thing.
It's
and go
fine.
grab
It's
it.
fine. It's fine.
When are you going to read it?
I'll start it. I'll start it in my next series. It's fine. It's fine.
Is it relevant to your last thing?
Oh, I made a haiku about my thing, but it's fine. I'll just do it for my next topic.
Fit. Oh, you're going to make a different haiku.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm making.
You know what I didn't bring up in your last episode? You seen The Karate Kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love Cobra Kai. I think it's an incredibly stupid show. I love it. You should watch it.
You've told me to watch it.
I think I was just surprised because Mr. Miyagi is played by Pat Morita.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. But
He was also the Emperor in Mulan.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't put that two and two together. But no, he was before he was an actor, he was a stand-up comedian. And I saw a clip of him the other day on the Red Fox show. And he was just doing comedy, talking about being a Japanese-American comedian in the black community.
What?
And it was so jarring because I've seen The Karate Kid. I haven't seen Pat Morita much, although he was in an episode of Columbo I watched.
Was he?
Yes, he had an incredibly minor role, and he was credited on IMDb as houseboy.
That's awesome.
So he was still like a 30-something-year-old man in the episode, probably. So, but yeah, he was just like a servant in somebody's house.
Also, real talk.
Yeah.
Johnny wasn't wrong.
What are you talking about?
Karate Kid.
What do you mean? Like
he's the hero of the story.
How is he the hero of the story?
He's the hero of the story. Anyway, Austin.
I don't know Karate Kid enough to.
What the fuck? Okay, anyway.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, yeah, Pat, it was very jarring because like all I've seen of him on screen for the most part is his role as Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid and the franchise. And like in Cobra Kai, they have like clips from the previous movies and some of the earlier seasons, and it'll call back to like moments that they had. So seeing him do stand up where he's just not talking in a vaguely racist accent and just being a, regular guy making funny jokes, it's very jarring.
That's fine.
Anyway, I guess we should probably transition back to the thing.
I was trying to think of something quippy to say, and it just kept falling on its face. I couldn't think.
Is it because we were moving too fast?
No, it's probably because we went off into something completely unrelated to talk about.
And like once something ends definitively, like how do you pick that back up again usually?
Well, you could say, "Oh man, wax on, wax off. Let's get on here and let's fucking clean this transition up." Am I right?
Unlike, I closed the tab. So unlike
Evelyn.
Thank you. Unlike Evelyn Owen, the two guys that designed the STEN gun both had some pretty extensive backgrounds in small arms development and overseeing. Both of them had worked for the Army and oversaw weapons development projects before. One of them is named Reginald V. Shepard, and the other is Harold J. Turpin.
Oh man, those are both like old-timey names.
Old-timey names that kind of fucking slap though.
Reginald V. Shepard.
Well, anytime that you have to put your middle initial in there and people that's how people know you, they're like, you better remember that.
We talked about this previously with the three names.
The Cannonball Run episode.
We just got to go back to that time.
Yeah. Because you got to think about it. You can't just have it be a throwaway. Like then you might as well do no middle name.
George Donkey Walker.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I do. Because I was thinking about it the other day.
I was trying to remember what his name was. Both of these guys were tasked to make a new submachine gun because Britain was like, we've had to trick the Germans into thinking that carrots give you better eyesight to get them to leave us alone.
Wait, no. Is that not true? Carrots don't give you better eyesight?
No, they don't give you better eyesight.
Oh, fuck.
Did you really believe that? What did you think a carrot would give you better eyesight?
Oh, vitamin C.
How's that working out for you?
I wear glasses. I also didn't eat carrots.
So you thought you attributed your bad vision to carrots?
You still don't eat carrots? Or you started eating carrots?
Stew.
How often are you eating stew?
During the winter.
How often in the winter?
Like 5 times, 6 times.
Have you noticed a change in your eyesight?
Hard limit of 5 times a year that you eat stew?
Yeah.
So during the five stew consumption periods, do you notice a buff to your eyesight?
Yeah, obviously.
You notice a temporary raise in your eyesight stat?
Oh. That's me seeing into the future. It's seeing my 4 more stews I get.
They might cart you away.
What do you mean?
Like Raven.
Like Adam?
Yeah, like Adam, yeah. Now, wow, so you are able to put a hard limit on the amount of stews you eat. You could say, I can count on one hand the amount of times I have stew in a given year.
No, I mean...
It's 5.
If I had to...
Hard limit 5.
No, if I had to guess, I mean, it's probably around there.
He doesn't want to see too far.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You might overload yourself. Some things you shouldn't see.
I could have stopped it. I could have stopped Adam.
It stops just a tad bit early.
Yeah.
Anyway, vitamin C, Germans.
Yeah, it was like
getting tricked.
It was literally a myth that they made up to get the Luftwaffe to back the fuck off.
God damn it.
Governments lie, Kody. Yeah. Especially the British.
Well, it's because they had developed radar. Or I guess we developed radar and we shared it with them. I can't remember who came up with it first. They had developed radar and they're trying to figure out like...
we don't have any tools. We just eat carrots, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The Germans were trying to figure out like, how are they seeing our planes so early? Like their reaction time's way too good.
We've got laser eyesight.
And fucking Britain literally started a fucking ad campaign to be like, all right, all of our citizens need to eat more carrots because it makes their eyesight really good, right, guys? Like that's how we can see the planes so far out. And then Germany's like, you're fucking with me, right? There's no way. Like, so that's where that myth comes from.
God damn it, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because that was about the only thing they had was carrots. Everything else was like bombed to fuck, and it was miserable. So that being said, the country didn't have a lot of money, and the only submachine guns that they had were Thompsons, and those were very, very expensive to make, and it required not only like metal and wood, but you needed to be able to mill everything out. Like it was a very lengthy process. So, I mean, they sold them at $200 just on the market. Who knows what they marked it up to military prices for?
What would $200 be back then?
$3,600.
Holy
per
fuck.
Yeah. So,
oh man.
Austin does research.
Well, I know that because that's why they chose to make the tax stamp for NFA items $200.
Okay.
Because that was the most popular item for people to buy back in the day. And so they were like, well, let's just make it the price of a Thompson submachine gun. So think about this. In 1936, when they put this into effect, if you buy a Thompson submachine gun, you have to pay a 100% tax. So now you're paying whatever that is, like over fucking $7,000
insane.
In the Great Depression.
I'm sure people had that.
Yeah. And they wanted to make it appreciate with inflation. Yeah. So today you'd be paying $3,000 something like of today's money just to have like a short barrel shotgun or something stupid. But somebody that was in the courtroom at the time was like, that's a really stupid idea. Like, why are you doing that? Like, and the court, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the court proceedings for this whole thing are so confusing to like look at because they have, what's it called when they take
transcripts?
Like, yeah, they have transcripts. There's literally a moment. So
you took the time to read the transcripts.
I've read some of them. Yeah. Well, this one someone else had read it, and then they basically recounted what they had read. The difference in shotguns and rifles for short barrels is that 16 inches is the minimum length for rifles, and then 18 is the minimum length for shotguns. And so when I remember questioning that and being like, why is it different? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's because one person brought it up at some point in the court proceedings and was like, I think it should be a little bit shorter, like 2 inches shorter for rifles. And the judge was like, okay.
That's wild.
Yeah. And
was that the extent of the conversation? There was no back and forth?
That was it. Somebody was just like, I just think it should be shorter. Why? Yeah because.
Sounds good.
Like, that's the level of fucking conversation that's going. Anyway, I don't want to get on a diatribe about that. But yeah, so it was costing Britain an assload of money, and they're like, we need something cheaper. So they grabbed both of these guys who had overseen projects in the past, and they wanted them to make a gun that I had actually never heard of before, called a Lanchester submachine gun. It sounds like I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
Lancaster?
A Lanchester.
Lancaster?
Nope. It sounds like it should be Lancaster. It's Lanchester. It's basically a copy of the Germans' MP-18, which they had made for World War I, which had a slew of problems that these guys immediately recognize and go, this design is stupid. We can make it better. And they're like, okay, do it. And they're like, okay. So they drafted new designs and then basically brought out a prototype of this new gun that they had called at the time the T-40 for some reason. I don't remember why.
That's because T1 through 39 were already taken.
That sounds really familiar. The
Does
T-40.
It was the original Terminator.
But they did it all in 36 days.
Holy fuck.
That's a very short amount of time to completely
From
redesign
concept
a gun.
on paper to getting a first prototype out. That's how simple this design is. So
Wow.
36 days, they made a stamp steel submachine gun, and then they got the army to buy 100,000 of them in March of 1941. And STEN stands for, there's a lot of debate about this, strangely. I was like trying to find a reason of what, because I never questioned it. I just like never thought about it. And so when I was doing research for this, I was like, why is it called that? Turns out that's a whole can of worms that no one can really fucking answer. The S and the T is easy. It just stands, the first one is Shepherd and the other one is Turpin. And then the EN is where the debate comes in. A lot of people say it stands for Enfield, which is like synonymous with, it's kind of like Springfield in the United States, where that's a federal, well, the original one. Today's isn't. The original
Lee Enfield?
So
No.
Enfield, there's an armory in Enfield, and that's another joint project. The Lee Enfield is a joint project with two different dudes. But Enfield makes a whole bunch of guns. They're one of the they call them royal armories.
Okay.
BSA was one of them. Yeah,
sounds pretty British.
Yeah, it is very British. I forget what the third one is. Enfield is one of them. BSA is the other one. Birmingham Small Arms Company. They're the same people that make motorcycles.
Fuck yeah.
And then there's a third one I don't remember.
Are we sure the EN doesn't stand for empty nuts?
No, but they thought it could stand for England as well. And when they were doing interviews with both of the designers, they did say it stood for England, and then later somebody said it stood for France. So I'm just going to go ahead and believe that it stood for England because that's what the designers of the gun said that it stood for, which is cool because I never realized that before.
I don't think it's cool.
Well, I
think it's really cool.
It's nice to know the reason behind the name.
No, it's good to know the reason. I just naming things after England or,
I get you. But so these things, not only were the first ones just super easy to make, but then they kind of steamrolled in making new versions. The British have this amazing naming convention, and that's sarcasm, obviously. They do everything in marks, and then if there are sub versions of those marks, they add a star to it. So you could have a Mark 1, and then if you go to the next version, it could be a Mark 2. But if you do like a Mark 1 that's like not really a Mark 2, it can be a Mark 1 star.
And you call it star? You say star?
You say star. And it's just like, it looks like the star, like the, not pound symbol. What is the star?
An asterisk?
Yeah, it looks like an asterisk, and it's like stamped behind it. There's no rhyme or reason as to what denotes what's enough of an advancement forward to bring it into the next Mark series. So it just gets very confusing.
Can you have star?
I was about to ask that.
So I'm almost certain you can, but I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of fucked around a little, and then we kind of fucked around a little on the fuck around,
We're fucking around to fuck around, dude.
What I have a quick question. When they did the bulk order of the 100,000 of these, right, was that based solely on the prototype that they showed, and then did they just ship the prototype basically? Because you said this is basically just a fucking metal tube gun.
Yes.
They made it on the cheap in 36 days, and they're like, well, shit, we can pump 100,000 of these out.
These fuckers.
Because Britain needed them fast. And so 100,000 is nothing in the comparison to, I mean, this is over the entirety of its lifespan, but there were 4 million of these things made.
Holy fuck.
And that's over all of the Mark series.
Do you remember what the 1911 was? How many they made of those?
Let me look it up.
I can look it up. You keep going.
Okay. And that would you'd have to search how much were made for military contract.
Yeah.
Which will probably be surprisingly lower than you think it is, because pistols obviously are not as much of a necessity for an arm. And the army stopped buying 1911s during World War II. Like, they bought enough to be able to...
Was it because they didn't have money, or because they were just like,
they didn't need any more after that?
The United States military procured
Covered it all.
2.7 million Colt 1911s.
So that's just Colt. There could be more. Still, that's half of the number of these STEN guns. England was able to just completely just throw these things out to the point where Shepard and, I've already forgotten the other guy's name, Turpin, were able to make iterations of this gun.
Terpene, like weed?
Turpin.
Man,
I don't know.
I wish Adam weren't in that facility right now. He'd get a kick out of that.
Turpin. Is that the same?
I'm not a weed guy. I don't know.
I don't know. But
we'd have to have our resident weed guy here.
Oh, bummer.
If they kept like...
I'm just so proud of him.
For being in the facility?
The reasons why he's in the facility.
Oh my God.
He's learning and growing, and he made an apology already. He said, let's not.
So honestly, that's kind of where my research for this stopped. I wanted to do more, but today was a short day at work, and I had a lot of people come in and needed my attention on things.
Well, you're an important guy.
I wouldn't go that far, but they took my attention.
You're important to us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to do too much more than that.
But I already said it.
You did, yeah.
I was the first one to say it. You just repeated what I said.
Oh, I missed that completely. I'm so sorry.
I every time I reference Britain in here too, Kody, I reference them as Britannica just for your sake.
What is Britannica?
It's a Code Geass thing.
Not Britannica. Yes, you mean Britannia?
Oh, no.
You fucking pleb.
I did.
You goddamn amateur.
Am I even a Code Geass fan?
Are you?
I haven't finished my my second playthrough. Watch through. Yeah, I am a fan of it. It's good. But
I don't like that they dropped the chess metaphor like a couple episodes in.
No, it keeps going.
No, they pretty much do. They get rid of it. They're like, he's a chess master. He's using chess to plan out all his shit. And then it's like, they forget about that quickly.
He names all of the Black Knights after chess pieces. That's like their call signs, which honestly is pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm almost certain except for one instance, he uses them verbatim. So like if you know chess pieces, which I guess is kind of moot because the army uses all the same call signs for like commanders and stuff too. But if you know the chess pieces, you can figure out who zero is. You don't even need to like do anything. You just be like, oh yeah, whatever the king's chess piece is, that's where he is. So if I can just like kind of understand who is talking what, and like these are facets of warfare that exist. Like there are people that they sit there and they just gather information. It's like human intelligence and signal intelligence, and they try to figure these things out.
Maybe they can figure that out in Britannica, but not in Britannia.
Yeah, maybe that's probably the big
The new one came out, and I haven't watched it yet.
Wait.
There's a new one that came out.
But a series, not a movie, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And is it after? It's after?
Oh, I don't. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I want to watch
any reviews?
No, actually, I haven't seen anything from it.
I don't think there are any STEN Gun lookalikes in Code Geass. I can't even remember. Most of the guns are kind of.
There might be one.
You think so?
Tube gun.
Tube gun.
Behind from back. Up your ass with the tube.
That's the one thing that's bothered me about mech shows is that the mechs are often used in a way that makes like infantry completely moot.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what I think is different than that is I think that Gundam Iron Blood and Orphans does a really good job with that.
So
Gundam, I Am Blood and Orphans.
Iron Blooded Orphans.
Oh, I misheard you. I apologize.
But that's what I was going to say is Gundam eventually made it good. They did a good balance because there should be the way that armor and infantry work together on the battlefield is that they support each other, right?
Yep.
Like places that tanks can't go or are going to be vulnerable to anti-tank stuff, the infantry will go and sweep through first and vice versa. And I think that if you're going to do an effective mech show, you should probably emulate that because otherwise you're just, if everyone's not in a mech suit, then they're fucked. And that's not fun.
What mech shows have you watched? I'm kind of curious, Austin. What have you
Only Gundam.
Have you watched all the? Because I know there's like 20 different series of Gundam. What are the ones you watched?
Far too many. Sorry, I'm going to name drop. Not even our friend here who's obsessed with Gundam has watched all of them. I've seen Gundam Unicorn, 00. Yeah, 00 is really good. I've seen a little bit of Seed, and then I stopped watching it. It was against my better judgment because I've been told by Gundam enthusiasts not to watch it. But because it was so prominent in America, I was like, well, maybe I'll see if people like if this was worth it. It's not really worth it. It's not very good. He actively threatens to kill a girl at her birthday party. It's a great scene.
Huh.
There's a lot of really good tidbits in Gundam, like Captain Bright going to a vending machine that they have on the Federation ship and pressing a button and getting a full cheeseburger out of the vending machine.
Hell yeah.
I don't even think it's wrapped. I think he just reaches in there and it's just a burger and he starts eating it and walks off.
Burger.
Fuck yeah.
But it's fucking Gundam Thunderbolt's really good. The big thing with Gundam is that there's never really a good guy. So the original series, it focuses on the Federation and then it kind of weans into like telling you why Neo Zeon is the way, or I guess at that point it would be Zeon. Why Zeon is the way that it is. It's kind of hard as a kid and even as a watcher of the series for the first time to side with Zeon because all their stuff is based off of like Nazis. So you look at it and you're immediately like, those are
bad
obviously
guys.
the bad guys. Yeah. But then they flesh them out later and you kind of understand like the Federation is very oppressive and they just don't want anything to do with it. But the Federation basically wants to assimilate them. And they're like, leave us the fuck alone. We live in a totally different system, dude. Like get the fuck out of here. So then it starts to develop like, oh, well, the conflict is very nuanced and there's a lot of shit going on here. And Gundam dives into all that shit.
So it sounds like you've very heavily engaged with that and then watched the chess anime.
Code Geass. And what about Full Metal Panic?
That's true. I forget that that's a mech show because I mostly remember when he shows up to his first day of school with a Glock in his bag and the teacher confiscates and is like, you can't have toys here. It's like, ma'am, that's not a toy. That's a Glock 19. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Get into the school. You can have it back when you leave. I fucking love that.
That sounds like verbatim like a scene from Danger 5.
Is that a British show?
That is an Australian TV show. Oh, you know what? A genuine shout out to Australia right now. I want to say you created one of the Australian public broadcasting funded one of the funniest TV shows I've ever seen.
Is that when Hitler's an FBI agent?
That is in the second season, yes.
Yeah,
Agent Hitler, FBI.
I've seen bits of it.
The episode before he becomes an FBI agent, he's in a high school posing as a high schooler named Johnny Hitler.
Yep.
And when they go to chase after him and they go to the high school, they go undercover as well. And one of them, the American guy, gets his gun confiscated. And almost the exact exchange that you just gave.
Johnny Hitler, everybody.
Oh, you don't have to tell me.
I know. I have this.
Johnny Hitler's the coolest kid on campus. Genuinely, I have the show on DVD, the entire thing, and I had to special order it from Australia. We should watch it. It does not take long to watch it at all. Is
this the same show?
That's the same show.
Yeah. This is my
That's the end of the first season.
This confuses the shit out of people.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's the last episode of the first season where they go to Atlantis and then they get kidnapped and cloned, and then it ends up with a giant mech fight. That's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And we could watch the entire span of it within like 3 hours.
Oh, hell
It's not long. Each episode, I think, is like 20 minutes. And there's only 2 seasons that are each 6 to 8 episodes long.
We absolutely should, because I've never actually seen I think the way I found it was I think
you would never stop quoting if I show it to you.
It's so good. Like, the only parts I've seen are the Hitler parts because somebody had conglomerated them together. And I actually do think there's a STEN gun in that at some point.
Well, I'm sure there is. Funny thing about Hitler in that show. So the show is made by a guy named Dario Russo, who's another Australian guy. Hitler is played by his Italian father.
He does a great job.
He's just an old Italian guy. That's very funny.
Yeah, Hitler goes to the range at some point and he has a gold-plated MP40, if I remember correctly. And he just looks like a total goofball wearing eye protection and the big earmuffs. It's just so ridiculous, but I love it.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
I fucking love that. It's so good.
Yeah, but anyway, how did we get on this? Oh, mech shows. Yeah. And you haven't watched Evangelion. I know that.
No. I just saw the end. I guess, spoilers, if you haven't seen it at this point, then that's more your problem than my problem.
It's a 30-year-old show.
Yeah. They all turn into orange juice at the end, and I was very confused. Like,
we ran out of the end of the series or the actual movie, the end of Evangelion?
Whichever one, they turn into orange juice.
Well, they both are telling the same story, but in different ways. So yes, they ran out of budget in the original series, and then they were able to make a movie that actually fleshed out what happens at the end of the series. Because if you watch it and you don't, like, if you were watching it in the original run, you would be incredible. I mean,
is this the congratulations?
Yes. So it all makes perfect. Genuinely, I think it makes perfect sense if you watch it after having seen the end of Evangelion, because the context is there.
Okay.
But
the imagery is so good in that show, though.
But Kanji, I'm trash.
It's so good that they cut it and repeat it for the final 6 episodes, where it's just a bunch of loops of previous animations
really?
from the show. They genuinely ran out of money. So it's like that's why people complain about it, because the studio ran out of money and they did not have the animation budget to animate what they originally planned to animate, I'm pretty sure. And so they ended up, I mean, I think it's incredibly interesting because it's this weird, metaphysical, it just gets trippy, basically.
Shinji getting the fucking robot.
Yeah, that's the meme. Have you watched it, Kody? Have you watched any of it?
I have.
You watched the entirety of it?
Yes.
Really?
That's not my speed, oddly enough.
That's not odd at all. I would not think it would be your speed.
Oh, okay.
I think it could be Austin's speed.
I'll have to give it another shot. I tried watching it in high school. I don't think I got maybe 3 episodes in, and then they were fighting geometric shapes, and Asuka was just mean.
Yep.
And I was like,
sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the blue girl,
Ray. Yeah.
Who's strangely devoid of emotion.
Yep.
Which is 2 dichotomy in characters that the Japanese really love to do for some reason. Haruhi Suzumiya is basically the same way. The whole cast is just that. They just they ripped the character archetypes from Evangelion and just implanted them into, which I think was intentional, actually, now that I think about it, because they make a lot of callbacks to Evangelion. But anyway, and then his dad was like, "Son, I need you to stop being a pussy and fight the geometric shapes from hell." That's what happens. And then what they blow up and they delete the world when that happens. They blow up and they take chunks of the world or something crazy.
Oh, the impacts, yeah. So I don't know how to describe it without going into a long explanation, but yes, essentially it's like a nuclear bomb going off that eviscerates an entire section of the world. So in the series, it takes place after the second impact, and that is Antarctica got blown up. So and Antarctica just does not exist,
coming, right?
Well, that's what they're trying to prevent.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually one of the characters has a pet penguin who. That's a rare thing because Antarctica has been fucking blown to smithereens.
Aren't they in Japan?
Yeah.
Would it survive in Japan?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. He's fine.
Not too
Pen's
warm
fine.
for it?
He's good.
His name is Pen.
Yeah, and he sleeps in an icebox, I'm pretty sure. He just hangs around the apartment and chills out.
Dude,
Wait,
just vibes.
Is that the girl that drinks a lot?
Mm-hmm.
She has a penguin?
Yeah.
All right,
in her apartment.
I got to watch this show.
Austin's like, a girl that drinks a lot that has a fucking penguin.
Well, because remember I sent you that meme that was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm all about it.
Austin, if you end up watching it, let me know before you start watching. I'll give you the order you should watch stuff in so that you can do. Because I actually just recently started watching they made remake films, basically rebuild films.
I heard about that. Yeah,
they're different though. They're not. They start out the same and then they branch pretty quickly into something different. And I've only watched 3 of the 4, so I don't know how. I have no opinion yet. But yeah, if you start watching, let me know, and I'll let you know what order you should go.
That would be helpful because I sometimes hate dealing with stuff like that. Yeah, this was the meme. I guess I should have been explicit. Yeah, I should have been explicit about that. She's basically another character that's the only one that I know of because she walks around in a tank top all the time drinking, right?
Yeah. Well, she's professional at work, but
Yeah, and then when she goes home, has a penguin apparently.
She's a heavily traumatized individual. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know how we get. Oh, we talked about mech stuff. Yeah. How did we get on mechs though? I don't even remember.
Kody asking if there was a STEN.
Yeah, I'm reaching for straws here because the only thing I can think of is Call of Duty, and that's how I found out about the STEN, and I used it even to the point where it was like not a good idea to use it. I used it in Warzone when they added it to Warzone just because it was a STEN gun, and I kept it in like the stock configuration because I wanted it to be World War II accurate. And so I'm running around with this gun. The recoil impulse is terrible. The spread's everywhere, but I was still killing people with it and got good with it. And people are like, what the fuck is going on?
What are you doing?
Yeah, like, why are you using this? My team was like, stop using that gun. I was like, I love this gun. Leave me alone. And it's just like a stupid stamp steel piece. But there's something that's so cool to me about like super simple. Like,
it's like a gun you could make in your garage.
Yeah, because it is a gun you could make in your garage. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, like super simple. And
listeners, do it.
Make it.
Make it right now.
Make that gun.
Gun.
I can't give you legal advice to make a machine gun.
Make the gun of your dreams, but don't do anything illegal.
Yeah.
At least not. Or if you did, we didn't tell you to do it.
Or if you're going to do something illegal, do it so well that the government pays you to do it.
Look, everyone in this show has different suggestions for you. Me, I think you should take a bunch of drugs and stay inside and write for 3 days straight.
That's
and
where
write
we get good
stories.
literature from.
Yeah, it's where the good literature comes from. Austin thinks that you should make your own gun in your garage. And then do whatever you please with it.
Yeah, right. Like, or you could throw it in a duffel bag and forget about it until your mom like finds it or something.
Yeah, and your uncle, Mr. U.S. government, comes along and says, "Hey, you should
Uncle
make
Sam
some of these for me."
Like, what has Jimmy been up to? I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know. He does stuff in the garage sometimes.
No, but Adam would probably, if I can't speak for him, but if he were, he'd probably want you to
smoke weed.
Yeah, smoke weed and think about philosophical stuff. What about you, Kody? What would you suggest our listeners do?
Buy a fucking cannon.
Yep, you can do that.
Why buy a cannon?
Fucking shoot the church across the street.
It's a good lawn piece. Really brings the lawn together.
Cody's got a lifelong crusade against religion.
Literal crusade.
Yeah.
Give me that fucking red stripe cross.
Wouldn't that make you for religion? Religion!
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you kind of... Congratulations, you played yourself.
Newsflash. It means you're religious.
Religious.
Shit.
Yeah. Well,
my bad.
You know, I mean, do you have much more that you wanted to get to? Did we cut you off?
Unless you guys have something to add, which I don't really know. Like, I guess to wrap it up, it's like it's been in every World War II movie ever because it was like if you look at World War II, you're going to see a STEN gun somewhere. It kind of paved the way for stamp steel guns going forward, right? I mean, there were stamp steel guns before that, but this was one of the big ones where it's just like, oh, we can keep making it more simple, faster, cheaper. And they kept doing that until eventually they phased it out at some point in like the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, like to the point where I don't think Mikhail Kalashnikov used that so much as the the STG-44 that the Germans made, which was also a stamp steel gun. But he used that stamp steel technology later down the road to be like, oh, I should use this with my AKs. It was after a long times of research trying to figure out how to make milling work, and then he was like, I'll just fucking build a jig and stamp it because it's way easier. So it's technology that's still used today, and it proves to be really cheap.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that we kind of go the cheapo route with making guns sometimes, because you end up with things that really do look very janky. But if they work, they work.
You can see the welds on it. Like you walk up to it and you're like, they didn't even try. Like they literally just went and then fucking sent it out the door. It's awesome.
Don't you like that though?
Yeah, I think that's fucking badass and cool. Like,
yeah.
It looks sweet. And then like the only time that they go back to the drawing board is when they were like, oh, it accidentally discharged because it's an open bolt weapon. And so if you put the magazine in it with the bolt forward and then you like slam it against something, the bolt moves rearward just enough to grab a round. And since it's got a fixed firing pin, if that round chambers, it's going off. So like it would negligently discharge and they go back to the drawing board and like, this is the problem we have. And they go, oh, okay, cool. This is how you fix it. And then they do it and turn it around super fast, make a new one that's safer and works better. And it's somehow cheaper because that's just every iteration got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And they're like, cool, take this shitty gun, go kill Nazis. Like that's the whole deal. So it's super cool.
I think people like the bespoke vibe, you know?
I actually don't know what that means.
Handmade.
Handmade.
Okay. Yeah.
There are actually a lot of machines in it. Like anytime that you bend like the flats, it's basically just a machine where you like pull a lever and it applies the pressure and it bends into a tube and stuff. There's not a lot of hand fitting here.
You like levers and tubes?
Yeah, levers and tubes
and
bullets.
sprockets.
Yeah, my man loves some levers and tubes.
Levers and tubes.
Don't get me started about them sprockets.
Austin gets all fired up about them sprockets.
Austin gets fired up about a lot of stuff. You were talking earlier about the strip club. Getting fired up at the strip club.
I don't think I want to talk
good
about
boys.
No, good
Austin
guys.
got really crazy.
Good guys and them bad girls.
Good guys.
I don't think they specify whether the girls were good or bad. You know, we should let the girls decide for themselves. You were talking about getting crazy and spilling water on the bouncer.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, Liam?
Not really. I mean, I have my own story, you know, talking about the bespoke stuff, right? You know, people like that personal touch. I've been to a strip club once in my life. I went with a friend of mine because he wanted to go for some reason. I don't know. It's not my type of thing. But one second, let me set the mood here real quick. See if I can't. Oh no, not that. That's a commercial. Sorry,
it's very fitting for a strip club.
Yeah. Okay.
Before you go in, you have to watch this commercial.
So anyway, I've been to a strip club once before, and it was an experience. My friend wanted to go, and I'm not sure what the desire was. I think we were like 22 or something. They were pretty young. We're like, hey, we could go to a strip club. We have the ability to, you know? So we go. It's a strip club on the beach somewhere. I won't specify where, but we go there. It's like a $15 cover charge to go in. I've never been to one of these things before. 15, not 50. Jesus Christ.
Holy
15
shit.
per head, you know?
Yeah.
You got to go in. You got to have money. So we go in, you know, there's an ATM right at the door. You walk through a little pathway into this sort of ballroom looking thing, and there's a stage. You know, it's a weird vibe. I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah, it feels weird.
It's awkward to have a woman with no top on dancing in front of you and just kind of, and you know, there's the expectation of, well, you got to put your money down on the table, you know, so she can come over and grab it while she's dancing and everything. And that's the whole vibe. And that's, some people like that. That's all for them. But
you just got to go straight for the billiards table and ignore all that.
You know, there was that personal touch, though. I don't mean in the dancers.
Yeah, you can't do that. If you do that, they'll throw you out.
So there I was in the bathroom. You know, when you're at a place like that, you got to pee. By the way, the drink's overpriced. To be expected, obviously. You know, I mean, they got to have you sitting there. But, like, I don't know. Service at the bar, not great. And I don't know if that's true across the board. This is the only strip club I've ever been to. The joint was classy. Like, the actual building was nice. But it's the kind of place where you kind of know people are getting jacked off upstairs.
In the VIP room.
Yes, in the VIP room.
Yeah,
the very impertinent penis room. So I went to the bathroom because I'm like, I'm going to piss and maybe we'll get the fuck out of here afterwards. Also, the music choice is strange. Some of the things that those girls dance to. Anyway, I'm in the bathroom. Go to the bathroom and I pee. And I noticed when I walk in that there was a man there, like an attendant. I didn't pay too much attention when I was going in. But then when I went to pee, I go to wash my hands after I pee. And strangest thing in the world, there's a weird piece of cardboard over the sink. Yeah. Right?
Just like laid across it. Like you have to
laid
move
across
it to
it.
be able to.
Oh, I didn't move it. I didn't touch it. Let me tell you what happened. That man who was in the corner, I thought he was like a bathroom cleaner, like an attendant. No, it turns out that he actually had a duffel bag full of candy. He was a developmentally disabled man with a duffel bag full of candy who was ransoming access to the sink in order for me to engage with him. Now, I never had any confirmation that this man was actually associated with the strip club, but I can only assume that he was. Because he came over and he moved the cardboard. And then he motioned to the duffel bag full of candy, which I think he was selling? I don't know.
The whole thing or piecemeal?
No, piecemeal. Obviously piecemeal. It would be a terrible business choice.
You're interested in a 7-pound bag of candy?
So,
and Cody's like, yes.
I'm in. Give me all the fucking candy.
I didn't partake, but I truly wondered what type of person goes to a strip club and eats candy. And would buy candy. Especially in the bathroom.
So you're not questioning the guy that goes to a strip club to sell candy?
I mean, look, you find a market, you serve it. But I just was kind of baffled. I don't know if it's that type of place, type of joint. But I went outside and we stayed for maybe another dance or so. You know, I mean, really, it's just not for me, I think. I think you could get the same experience just smoking cigarettes and buying your own liquor and staring at a wall for a couple hours. Yeah. But we go to leave and there seems to be a commotion at the door. And then we notice there are police officers ushering people out of the building. At some point during our stay there, I don't know when, it seemed like it must have been pretty recently before we left, there was a stabbing that occurred right outside the strip club. And there we saw, and there's just a guy standing there with the cops with his shirt covered in blood. And then there was somebody outside on a stretcher, not dead, mind you, but they were clearly stabbed multiple times. And there were just cops being like, move it along, come on, this way, all right, out here. And I never went back.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I thought you were going to say Candy Guy got stabbed.
No, I think he's safe. He's
Candy King.
He's probably still working there, to be totally honest with you. It seemed like a pretty solid gig.
Yeah, working is a subjective term.
I think he would have
gotten more of my money than any of the dancers. And
would you have taken the candy in the bathroom?
I'm a fucking candy fiend.
I know, you're the resident candy boy on this show.
I don't know, you had a whole ass bathroom attendant and everything. He offered you candy. I was just cold and wet in basketball shorts and flip flops.
What were you wet in?
The bouncer's water.
Uh-huh.
All right, Cody.
Candy or no candy?
I think Austin was wet in candy, and that's candy with an I.
That's candy with an I, by the way.
You should have gone for it. You should have asked her out.
No, the Shots girl was Ukrainian.
The Shots girl?
Yeah, there was a Shots girl. They had a girl that her sole job was to go around and sell shots.
Then did you buy any?
I did, yeah. Because it was like I said, I came.
How'd you find out she was Ukrainian?
Because we talked to her for a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I told her that I went to Russia, and she said that she was Ukrainian.
From Russia with Love?
No. Yeah, I mean, and that was about the most enjoyable part, because like I said before when we talked about it, was that the one moment of someone suggesting it. Well, it was suggested a couple of times, and I just remember thinking, like, I kind of want to stay in my room. We weren't even supposed to get drunk tonight. This is just like something that happened out of nowhere. And then the next thing I knew, I literally was like teleported and fell into the podium, and the bouncer was looking at me like, are you fucking serious, kid? Like,
could have been a nice meet cute if you had liked him.
With the bouncer.
You never know.
I'm sorry I spilled your water.
Did he have sunglasses on and a backwards hat and smoking cigarettes?
No, but he was wearing an entirely okay, this is going to sound really prompted. I'm not talking about your t-shirt. He was wearing an entirely too tight black t-shirt to look more impressive, I think, hanging out at the door. But
did he look impressive?
Not
Was he
really.
built? Was he cut?
He was
cut
one of those
right.
bouncers where he throws his weight around. So like he's a little bit bigger, but maybe not healthy big.
Never heard of a bouncer throwing their weight around before.
Well, you know what I mean, though, right? Like,
yes, being sarcastic.
But yeah, not a great experience. And like I said, when I came to and we sat down, it was like second wind, and I wasn't really feeling that drunk anymore. So every time the Shots girl came around, I was like, I'm gonna grab one of these, because I didn't want to not be drunk in an environment like that. So I just kept taking shots, and then we went home eventually, and it was nice. I could go to sleep. So I think actually it's very appropriate we told strip club stories here, because it rounds out the STEN very nicely. It's not that pretty. It's got work to do, though. And
but did its father love it?
Look, she makes the money.
Most of them did. Yeah,
she makes the money. We don't need to psychoanalyze.
She makes the money. She gets the job done, and
she got that personal touch.
Don't bring her home with you, because she'll get you in trouble. It's like 10 years in federal prison if you don't have a tax stamp. So
that is a great way to round it up.
Yeah.
We'll round it out. And also we've given our official learner's permit verdict. 50% of the podcast has given strip clubs a 0 out of 10.
Yep.
Maybe a 1 if you want to give it for the candy.
Or at least they give you the option to get drunk, even if it is overpriced. So I'll give it a 1 for that.
Can I give it a 0 for never going?
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I wonder what Adam would say.
10.
10 out of 10, baby. We'll have to ask him.
We'll have to get his review.
On.
We can have him work undercover at a strip.
As a dancer or as the candy guy?
The candy guy.
As the candy guy. The guy that sells weed candies in the bathroom.
Hey, that's a possibility. Anyway.
All right, I think that wraps up things pretty good.
Speaking of wrapping things up pretty good.
Don't if you're going to do that, don't go to the strip club.
No, I was going to say it's the candy, dude. You got to make sure that's wrapped when you're trying to get it from that dude from the bathroom.
Too true. There's all those bathroom bacteria. People are shitting and farting in the bathroom, and those poop particles are going to be going through the air.
Yeah, they got to be wrapped, bro. Don't give me unwrapped fucking Starbursts.
Hey, listeners, if you work out there in a strip club selling candy in the bathroom, make sure it's wrapped.
Or if you're listening to this at a strip club,
you got problems.
Selling
buddy.
candy in the bathroom.
DM Adam on Instagram. Let him know.
Write it on the bathroom stall.
Right on the bathroom stall. Take a picture. Tag the location. Send it to Adam, and then he'll be there in 5 minutes.
No, I was saying put Adam's contact on the bathroom stall. To generate.
Adam can set you up with a good candy setup. He's got plenty of duffel bags, plenty of candy in bulk.
Yeah.
And he's pretty enterprising. He can tell you the best strip clubs to go sell the candy at. He can tell you how to market it.
Yeah, and
good tip: put the cardboard over the sink so people have to interact with you. And if you got to walk up and start talking to the guy and making the sell at the urinal, feel free. Anyway, you heard it here, folks. Strip club's bad. STEN, sexy and nice.
Yep.
Sexy and nice.
Sexy and
Adam
nice.
has a white van.
Yep.
See you next time.
Bye.
You've been listening to Learner's Permit. Thanks for listening. We hope you learned something today. Until next time, goodbye.